Okay, so for my speech, I chose Ireland and to talk about their culture. Now, when it comes to Ireland, it kind of has some bad stereotypes, like that they're a bunch of bunch of violent alcoholics, and that's just not the case. And the Irish ancestry it's like the second most common in the United States. I think there's a 12.1 percentage rate that can be traced back, and it's like 11.2 if you live in New York. So that's pretty big. But the Irish culture is truly one of a kind. It has strong family values, interesting holidays, and a pretty unique lifestyle. Now, let's talk about family values. Family values are really important to the Irish, like very important. And these strong family values can be traced back to when Ireland had a great potato famine and people were starving, and it was just really hard. Like all the potatoes like went bad. It was horrible. So to help survive over there, families kind of banded together and really just fended for themselves. And that's been kept alive to this day. Like Irish families can be seen as being really close, and they're just very like family oriented people. Secondly, we'll discuss the interesting holidays that they have. Now, the holiday I'm going to talk about is St. Patrick's Day. And some background information on St. Patrick's Day would be that okay, so St. Patrick, he's this guy who he's living in England, and when he's 16, he's captured and he's sold as a slave, and is brought over to Ireland to like tend sheep. So when he gets over to Ireland, he notices that there are no Christians. Like no one believes in Christianity. Some people haven't even heard of it, and this made him pretty upset. And he prayed and he prayed, and then one night he had this dream uh, that he would escape and go back and like become a priest. And he just based his escape on this dream he had, and he makes his way back to England. When he gets back to England, he's reunited with his family, and he decides that he wants to become a priest. So he does tons of studying. First becomes a bishop, and then he makes his way to becoming a priest. So once he becomes a priest, he decides, hey, I'm going to go back over to Ireland and I'm going to show these people what Christianity is and save these people's souls. So he goes back to Ireland and he starts teaching the works of Jesus Christ. So once he gets over there, people are kind of like, oh, like what are you talking about? But it actually catches on kind of quickly, and he gets people to convert by the masses. He helps build churches, and the tale is that once everyone converted to Christianity, he drove all the snakes from Ireland. So St. Patrick's Day is celebrated on March 17th, and it's also celebrated here in the U.S. And things that can be associated with like St. Patrick's Day is like people who wear green, like this shirt here, and also shamrocks and a leprechaun. The reason why the shamrock is important to the holiday is because St. Patrick would use it to help teach the works of Jesus. And St. Patrick actually died in Ireland at the first church he ever built. So I thought that was pretty cool. All right, finally, I'm going to discuss like the lifestyle of Irish culture. So an important part of their lifestyle over there is what I call like pub culture, really. And this is like a pub is like a public place or like a public house or a bar. So people go and they meet in these pubs, which really are just bars, but it's more than that. But usually when people like think of like pubs, they think of like tons of drinking, and like it's actually way more than that. Like okay, for example, like a sport over there that's really popular is rugby, and if you're gonna go watch the rugby game, you would go down to the pub, and yeah, it's just a super important meeting place, like where people meet up and have fun. Also, what I thought was kind of strange is they do not believe in giving gifts. They believe you have to like work for what you get. And also, like an obscene gesture over there is holding two fingers with your palm facing you. It's like our equivalent of like the middle finger. So, all right. So even though Ireland might have like some pretty bad stereotypes, it's actually a pretty beautiful culture, and I think anyone would enjoy if they go over there. And why this is like important to like us is because even when we celebrate St. Patrick's Day, we have bars or pubs over here too that we meet up and watch football games, and it's like Irish culture has really impacted us. And yeah, um, that's about it.